time. I know you're crazy busy, but I basically, yeah, we just want to get feedback now that you've gone through most. I think you're pretty
Yeah.
much through the whole course, right?
Yes.
So we just want to get feedback because obviously we're in the next stage of now we're going to start marketing and we want to make sure that we're adding crucial stuff to the course and making it as good as possible, at least for the first round, before we start running ads for it, right?
Absolutely.
So
Um,
tell
one
me,
one
oh,
thing I just wanted, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to say, Matt, going through, if you could refer to it as the tools of the trade playbook instead of just Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
saying
Of
course or playbook, it just helps a lot, right? So that people actually know what you're talking about. This is, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Let me write that down too.
Yeah, because if you're okay with it, Matt, we might use some of your like testimonial just for putting onto our website or when we're kind
Oh
of,
yeah.
obviously, if we're connecting with new people, we want to be able to provide some testimonials too, right? So
Absolutely.
if you're okay with that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so let's talk first impressions. So I think, how did you find us? You found us, I think, on the House Call Pro group, right? Is that how we first connected?
I think you were on a chat that I was on.
Yeah. And I probably just put something out there saying, this is what we're doing. This is the playbook. We're doing, I think I probably mentioned the beta testing, right? And then you were like, yes, let's do that.
I actually think it was even a little. I think you were just having a normal conversation with someone, and
Oh,
then
okay.
I was on it. I can't remember the exact conversation, but I don't
Yep.
even think it went that far at the time. I might have
Okay.
asked you a question because you were replying to some of the
Okay.
answer or questions on there. It was pretty crazy how I came across to you.
Yeah. And then you're like, let's see what this is about. Yeah, because I feel like that was a few months ago now from when you first when we first connected versus when you got access and all of those things. So basically, how did the whole process work for you is in terms of like getting the join code, being able to access the course, and then actually getting into the course? Like how was that first impression? How did everything work out for you?
No, everything was great. I haven't seen too many platforms that good. Other than the school program. I don't know if you've ever seen those,
Yes.
but it's very similar. But the software was great.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, we kind of we're actually so you just brought up the school platform. So we are also thinking about creating a community. So we actually have already created a community, but we haven't obviously um got it going yet.
Yeah.
But would that be something that would be beneficial for you after you've gone kind of through the course? If we did have a school community where we could hop on like once or twice a week and do like question and answer sessions or networking sessions or sharing quick wins, like things like that, would that be helpful for you to go along with the playbook, do you think?
Absolutely. I'm like part of like three groups now on there,
Mhm.
and I really think that's where everything's going.
Yeah.
Is 'cause they have the calendar on there and the classroom, and
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's
I
great.
think it would be mainly tailored to companies wanting to stay up to date with all the marketing know-how, right? And especially like the way we're thinking about building the community is okay, Mondays is Google Day. So you have any questions regards to Google ads, local service ads, your GMB profile, fixing things, we'd have a specialty person on there who just handles that. Let's say Wednesday's meta session. So literally it's just any questions. Hey, I tried to run this Facebook ad and I ran into this issue. What can I do, right, to resolve that? So not only do you have the tools of the trade playbook helping you out, but now with the community, you have one of the professionals like Eliana, Kat, or myself being able to actually walk you through that versus just putting a question in the chat, right? And then let's say Thursday would be, growth session. What did we find on a consulting side that, can really maybe boost you or just talking out loud and getting somebody's different perspective, right? So it'd be more so tailored to really just marketing the growth of the business versus let's just say a standard community, more niche that way for the trades.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think it'd be great.
Awesome. Okay, so then what did you find? So now looking back at the playbook, what module or what video would you say was the most valuable or that you kind of were able to grab a piece of information and kind of run with it right away or something that you didn't know before?
I don't think it was just one video. I think it was a multiple ones. The whole. I think we never did Google Ads because it's so complex.
Yeah.
You know, and you do have to pretty much hire someone to be able to set it up and run it. I think
Mhm.
that's kind of why we stayed away from it when we first tried it. Uh, it didn't really go anywhere. We didn't have a landing page and things like that. I think
Right.
that's why we kind of just stuck to LSA, but
Hmm.
LSA is getting so expensive now.
Yeah.
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 So when you
Yeah.
entered the
We
tools of
hate
the
LSA.
trade, yeah, when you entered the tools of the trade portal, right, through like the playbook of the tools of the trade, and you got into the Google section, what was different in the tools of the trade playbook versus YouTube and, just hearing things like what made it more beneficial to you versus anything else?
There's nothing out there. There's nothing on YouTube that shows you how to set it up step by step.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
And,
you can
and
search
being
on your
tailored to
phone.
the trades, I'm assuming probably helps too,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel confident that I'm gonna have to go back and revisit the videos.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm confident that I could set it up all the way. I started setting it up as I was going with the videos
Yeah.
Hmm.
because I heard about Go High Level for quite a while.
Hmm.
If you watch videos on that, they say it's very intimidating, and a
Yeah.
lot of people cancel it once they like start messing with it.
Hmm.
But yeah, your videos show you how to go right into it and set everything up.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we would also have that in community to a go high level day because I think that would be a very popular one if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
And
The one thing
that's
I did want to ask you, Matt, for me briefly, like hopping on calls with a lot of companies there, a big thing was SEO, right? Did you
yeah.
find in the tools of the trade playbook? What was your thoughts on the SEO portion versus I know you were spending money with SEO versus what you learned? Like, what are your thoughts now after being part of it?
I think it's well the SEO part. I do have a few questions on that. I don't think it's as important now um,
Which is
because
a good thing, right? So
it's
you have
so
more
far
terms of marketing, right?
it's so far down on Google. Like, why am I going to spend the cost of a website and then $2,000 to $4,000 a month on trying to have them create like five backlinks a month?
We
yeah.
It's
had a member of the tools of the trade. They were spending 1,600 a month for SEO. And within 1 hour of being in the tools of the trade playbook, they realized we are calling this agency and canceling because we're just throwing money away. And they've
yeah,
actually realized from the tools of the trade what mistakes the agency was making. And this agency is coming off, we're the best, 1,600 a month, we're the go-to, da 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 da. They watch Tools of the Trade and they're like, why aren't you doing XYZ? And they realize you're just throwing money away, right? So that's why I was curious to know your thoughts after going through everything. And you know what I mean?
yeah. Like, because you're still not sure because like you don't know who to believe. So
Mhm.
it's just like, you know, it's just way too far down on Google.
Yeah.
They're not going
I,
to go past that
My
fact.
argument is I think SEO serves a purpose when you have an online business or you're trying to rank higher when it comes to selling something.
Yeah,
But for a trades company, we rely on emergency calls, same day service, providing a high quality and a fair price to that service for what you get. And that's going to be through Google ads, local service ads, and Facebook ads, and then retargeting customers with email campaigns, right?
that's it. The SEO doesn't come into play for service businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's you just nailed it right there. You
And the
know,
reality is that's why we wanted to put an SEO section because we had so many people coming to us thinking that SEO because they don't want to spend money on marketing, right? So they say, okay, how can I get they assume that if they're at the top of the maps, they're going to get called, right? So that was our biggest thing where we're like, just because you're at the top doesn't mean people are calling you, right? Like, yes, it makes you more visible for sure, but you also need to invest in your business. You need to spend money on marketing. You need to be omnipresent. You need to be in their face. Like you can't just rely on SEO. But SEO, of course, if you have time to do these little things or like constantly be following up with, reviews, getting people to leave you really good reviews, like very detailed reviews, those things are going to move the needle way more than paying $1,600 for a company that knows nothing about you, right? So that was kind of the point is for us to just say, you know what, you don't need, if you're going to put aside money for marketing, like have it actually go towards something that's going to get the phone ringing, not just an
yeah,
SEO company that may or may not move you up in the rankings, right? So, and I think that's still like everybody we meet with, they're like, oh, but what about SEO? What about SEO? And we're like, oh my gosh, like why is this such a big thing? But I think that's because that's what they're targeted with, right? They're getting targeted with all these ads from like Jumper, Meteor, like all these different big companies that are claiming to get these crazy results with SEO, but the reality is they're not. So,
Yeah, yeah, they just tell you it takes time, and
yeah,
they send you results that like show progress on the map pack, but you would have got those regardless,
yeah.
with getting reviews and optimizing your GMB,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and they'll tell you to go in and add keywords to your GMB profile as well. They'll say, "Oh, we don't have access to your GMB profile, but we recommend you go onto your GMB profile, add these keywords, and
yeah,
then we'll do our thing." But they're not doing anything, right? They're probably getting some false
yeah,
some false action happening on your page, which can actually make it worse. So that was the whole point of the SEO portion was just to say, take it for what it is. If you want to hire, and that's the same with an agency. If you want to hire an agency after going through the tools of the trade playbook, by all means, at least now you can advocate for yourself and you know what's important versus what's not important, right? So that's,
absolutely. It
yeah.
may it may work for a different type of business, but like a service business, if they don't have a problem, they are not thinking about you.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
It's
No.
like it's like we have a Val pack. It's called they mail out like a packet of coupons. It works great for restaurants, but it doesn't work for a service business.
Yeah.
No.
They see the heating and cooling coupons, and if they're not having a problem, they toss it.
Yeah.
You
Exactly. They'll forget all about it until they have an emergency and then they're just Googling, best HVAC near me, right? And then the first person who comes up or the first it's going to be whoever's running ads basically because that's who's
know?
going to show up first, right? So,
Absolutely, and that
Guys,
works good for a restaurant because they see the coupons and be like, oh no, we're going to go here Thursday or Friday,
exactly.
yeah.
but
Yeah.
not
That's
for
what I
service.
tell people, Matt, when it comes to a trades business, right? Is like HVAC, plumbing, electrical, really anything home service is a want, not a need, right? I mean, is a need, not a want.
Yeah,
Versus you want to go to a restaurant or you want to get new clothing. So if you make a really solid product, right, that is actually does good at a good price, then you can
yeah,
essentially infinitely market that. But when it comes to home service, you're not just going to call an HVAC company to replace your air conditioner because, hey, you know what? It's 2 years old and I want a new one.
right.
Or you're not going to play a plumbing company and say, oh, you know what? All that cast iron piping, just take it out and put in ABS because that's what I want. I mean, maybe 1% of people, but reality people are going to say, I'm going to wait till it clogs or cracks and I
Oh
have
yeah,
to get it done. Right. And I think that's the difference and people having to understand what type of marketing is beneficial when it comes to a home service based business.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And even like the people, like that's why in the tools of the trade playbook, we also didn't have a section on like content creation because there's so many people that say, "Oh, I need to get better at posting on my Facebook. I want to, build up my Instagram followers, blah blah blah." I'm like, "But that's not gonna that's sure. If you have time, if you have a couple hours a day that you want to just create
yeah,
some fun stuff, or if you want to hire somebody to do those things, but that's not going to bring in the extra money, right? Like, sure, it's good to stay relevant. It's good to be, posting out stuff so people you keep on top of people's mind. But the reality is, like, things like that are not like the purpose of the tools of the trade is like, okay, how can we show you how to do these things so that you can actually move the needle and you can actually grow, and
yeah,
you can expand and like all of those things. So that's kind of that's where we were kind of debating like how much should we include versus what shouldn't be included. And then we said, you know what, there's going to be some things that are going to be free, right? Like you can do a lot of SEO for free. You can do email campaigns, market like texting campaigns, those can all be free.
yeah,
But then there's also the paid portion of it that's important as well, right? Or if not more important than the free stuff. So it's kind of finding that balance because a lot of people are so afraid of Google ads, right? They're like, oh, I'm going to waste all this money on Google ads. Well, yeah, you are if you don't do it right. So,
absolutely, absolutely.
What do you think was it, Matt, that came to the tools of the trade for you when you looked in the portal? That was where you said this is going to be the biggest lever to drive to the next portion, the next goal of revenue in my business. Like, what do you think was like the biggest driver in being an asset to your business to grow it more in the future?
So setting up the ads the correct way.
Yeah.
There is so much to it, I
Mhm.
think it's intimidating when you first look at it. It may not be, months down the road, but
Yeah.
all those little settings, like if you don't have one that's set the right way, you
Yeah.
know,
This may be a lot to ask. Do you think really briefly, Matt, you could start your sentence with, hey, when I entered the tools of the trade playbook, I got access to all this, but this is what really was able to give me confidence and control in the future growth of my business, and then proceed to say what you're about to say.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. So you want me to do that right now?
Yeah, so hey, so really, Matt, what do you think it was when you entered the portal, the tools of the trade, after you hopped on a call with me and you gained access and everything? And after taking a few weeks of reviewing all the content and implementing it, what was the biggest driver for your business to get to that next step?
Okay, yep. So how do you want, so what was that first sentence again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you just say, when I entered the tools of the trade playbook, and then
Great.
go off. So that's how we'll start, okay?
Okay.
So So Matt, I know you briefly met with me on a call. You decided you want to go ahead with the tools of the trade playbook. You got access to it. Um, After reviewing the content after a few weeks and actually trying to implement it, what was your aha moment being like, wow, this is the playbook I need to really take my business to that next level that I'm looking to do, revenue wise, growth wise, adding another truck on the road. Like, how did the tools of the trade benefit you?
When I first entered the tools of the trade playbook, I think the setting up the Google ads step by step, I think that moves the needle the most, and creating a landing page. Because if you don't have the Google ads set up right, I've learned through the videos, without having that landing page, it's going to help it convert so much more.
Yeah. And did you run Google Ads before you got the tools of the trade playbook?
I did, and it wasn't successful.
No. What made you say it wasn't successful?
So we had a big ad spend with no calls.
Oh, really?
And after, watching the videos now and going back, we can see all the mistakes that were made.
Yeah. Do you
So
think
it's
do you think you have a more understanding of Google Ads in general and having the confidence to say, hey, you know what? I know what I need to go do to turn the ads on and get some more business when it's the in-between season, right?
absolutely every video in the tools of the trade playbook shows you step by step how to set it up.
Yeah. Awesome.
It
That's
was
huge. And do you think you learned anything else with it that really benefited the growth of the business?
absolutely. I learned what not to do with SEO, who to believe, what's true and what's not.
Mhm.
Absolutely. There's many other helpful videos in there.
Yeah. I guess my last question I had was really, you talked to me, you talked to Kat, you saw Eliana, you went through everything on the playbook. Do you think we're just some fake marketing gurus, or can you tell like, hey, these guys were in the trenches, they had the work boots on, they've actually they've grown their stuff, and now they're helping us out, right? Like, be honest, no BS here. How do you feel about us in general and our knowledge?
Yeah, the tools of the trade playbook is totally opposite than hiring someone, say 2,500 per month to do SEO, or 1,000 a month to run your Facebook ads, and they're going to create the content. This is not that. This is you do. It's going to show you how not to need them, how to set up everything yourself. You do not need them after this. You can do everything yourself. And we were stuck at the business at 4 trucks, and I really didn't know where to go. And that's how I kind of came across you guys.
Yeah.
But after the playbook, um, I have the confidence that we're gonna go past this and get out of the rut that we're stuck in.
Yeah, that's huge, eh? Every business they have that they have that threshold where you're like, I'm busy, I feel good, but I started the business to go to the next step, but it's like, how do I get there, right? And I think the biggest thing for us with the tools of the trade playbook was allowing those trades owners to have the confidence in growing themselves, right? And
Yeah,
knowing, hey, you know what? This is where my hard-earned cash is going because let's be honest, it's not easy to upsell a customer on a new furnace AC combi unit when guess what? There's competition coming in. They want same day service, right? Like, I mean,
yeah,
it's hard enough to get on a call with you, man. You're so busy as it is, right? Flying to the train facilities, right? So
Mhm.
it's just like, I guess my thing is do you see the short term and long term value in the tools of the trade playbook?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Absolutely. Like I said, we were stuck for a year, and what do you do? So then we started looking to, maybe we should hire someone to do the SEO, or something to move the needle. But you don't have to waste the money on that. You
Yeah.
know,
No, that's huge. Like I said, like I think I didn't realize I thought everybody would want to know how to run Google Ads and all that. But so far, like we're now have three separate companies who have all said we're spending over 1,000 a month on SEO. And every time I'd ask, I'd be like, so what are your results on SEO? And I don't think you were spending that much, but you're still spending money on SEO. And I'm like, so do you know even what you're generating? They're like, no, we're just, they give us a report saying we have X amount of keywords and backlinks. And the one customer we have, they gave them 26 viruses on their website, and they're paying
Wow.
1,600 a month for this. One of the top tier marketing agencies for SEO, right?
All
Yeah.
they do is tell you that it takes time. It takes time, and it just keeps
Patient.
buying them more time.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
Exactly.
like I guess that's kind of lead me in the next question. Like, is this a long-term process, Matt? But if you like, can you sit down and within a few hours, do you feel like you can gain confidence to actually start fixing your business to scale it how you want through the tools of the trade?
yes, absolutely. I need to reference these videos. I need to set everything up perfect, just like in the videos.
But it's not a
Uh,
brutal process, right? Like it's
No, no,
yeah.
no. I
And
mean,
you
you
don't
can't
think it's
ask.
too
You can't.
daunting for somebody who's like, let's say, I know both me and you are tradesmen, right? You run the business now, but it's
Yeah,
not where you don't need to be super techy, do you? Like honest feedback here with that.
no, you don't. I mean, you can't ask for more than a video showing you click by click
Yeah.
and explaining everything. And there's a chat box underneath where you can leave a comment, and you
Mhm.
guys are great to get a hold of. You know,
Awesome.
no, not a business owner turned technician, now business owner can definitely set it up himself. You do not need the marketing company.
Awesome. That's huge, Matt. I guess that's all my questions. Kat, do you have anything else?
So Matt, yeah, that's great. I appreciate all the feedback. It's good because obviously, we've been in the trenches. We've built our business from the ground up. So we've done it, but at the same time, creating and putting the playbook out there, we don't know how other business owners are going to receive it or if it's going to be clear enough. So it's incredible getting your feedback, your honest feedback, because obviously we want to keep building it, we want to keep improving it, and because you're one of our first people in the playbook, like you'll have access to all of the new videos as well. So anything you give us as far as what you think should be added, like that's all stuff that we're going to take into account. We're going to keep growing and growing and growing and making it as like comprehensive as possible, right?
Yeah.
So would you like, I guess the big thing was like, did you think that like now that you've gone through the playbook, has it giving you kind of a well-rounded understanding of everything? Like, do you think is there anything else that you think should be included that maybe isn't in there yet?
I know we talked about the email and the texting campaigns.
Yep.
I think I think that part's good because say you run a Google ad and they call you and you finish the call. I think it's good to keep retargeting them.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I spoke to someone the other day that they target retarget them for 24 months after they run the call, whereas
Wow.
like 3 months they'll send them an email, 6 months, all the way up to 24 months.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's good. That's crucial. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So like I said, that those videos will be uploaded this week. And I think the thing with Go High Level too is like we could literally have 100 videos just on high level. So it's knowing which ones are going to be the most important versus which ones. 'Cause the last thing we want is for trades business owners to get into the platform and be like, oh my gosh, this is way too much and be completely overwhelmed, right? So it's having enough videos that they feel like they're getting enough like the value, but then also not so many videos that they're going to be like, holy crap, there's no way I can get this done. Like the marketing course that I took, I think there was like almost 300 videos. It was insane. And I remember having that feeling. I was like, there's no way. Like, how am I ever going to get through this?
Yeah.
So I don't want that to be the first impression, right? I don't want people to just back away from it because they're overwhelmed, but it's having the most important videos and making sure that they're going to be videos that people can implement like as quick as possible, right?
Yes, yes. And if a business owner truly wants to scale their company and they want to put the effort into it, they need to follow the videos, the tools of the trade book playbook.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to put the effort in. That's one thing too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
If you put the effort in, you can see the
yeah,
results, right? But it's just
absolutely,
like growing the business. You gotta do it.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I mean,
absolutely.
let me ask you this, Matt. Like, what do you think is better? Do you think it's better to spend, let's say, 10 to 15 hours following the video step by step and implementing it? becoming a professional on your own, or would you rather being a business owner with 4 trucks? I'm assuming how, you know what I mean, have a lot going on. Would you rather just hire this out to an agency? Like, what's your
No,
thoughts?
I'd rather do it myself because there's already too much to pay for. You got to pay for employees' medical, you got to pay for a dumpster, a shop. There's just so many things, and we weren't making any profit. We're paying SEO on the website. We're paying someone to run the Facebook ads. We're
Mhm.
paying someone to manage Go High Level. It's just too much, you
Yeah,
know.
for sure.
No, it's definitely, once you get out of the truck, you should have the time to be able to go through the videos and set all this up.
Yeah.
And that's the point of the playbooks. Get people out of the truck and be able to focus on building up the business, right? Instead of being on the
Yeah,
tools.
they call it
Yeah.
stuck in the truck.
Stuck
Yeah.
in the truck. Well, hopefully
Yeah.
Tools of the Trade is on the way to get there. I Kat, do you have a lot more questions? I just have one more. Do you have anything else you wanted to touch on
The
or?
only other thing I wanted to ask, Matt, was what price, like what price would you put the playbook at? Like if you were to see, obviously, because we're playing around with different pricing structures, what would be a fair price, do you think, for what is included in the playbook right now? And then if we had the community aspect with it as well, what would you say would be like a price that you would expect to pay for a playbook like this?
I would say anywhere from 3 to 4 thousand.
Yeah. Three to
I
four
think that
thousand, you see good value in that?
I do. I actually it's worth a lot more, but you know, they may get sticker shock at first.
Yeah. We're
That's
dealing
all.
with tradesmen, right?
So say that again, Matt. Sorry. So
Yeah,
you're saying that, 3 to 4 thousand is good. It's not sticker shock, but do you believe it's worth in value perspective, it's worth more than that?
I do. I would say up to 5 or 6 thousand.
Yeah, because you're noticing that much changes in your businesses, and you're probably saving money on cash flow too, right?
Oh, absolutely. You're not paying someone per month now. You're not tied
Yeah.
stuck on that. I
Yeah.
mean, we hired a marketing company in January where it was 1,500 a month, and they were gonna supposedly make your radius go more than 10 miles, and they posted on 7 different social medias, and just the ad quality was horrible, and but you just
Mhm.
feel stuck to that. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they run the accounts. Everything's going to crumble if you disconnect from them. You
Yeah.
know, and that's another thing about owning all your accounts. Now you don't have to worry about them having the logins, your
Yeah.
password to your emails. You still own all your stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you have control of it, then if something doesn't work out, it's only you, right? Then you're like, okay, what do we do next? Instead of having all of these other people that you're working with that aren't really giving you answers, and then you're kind of like at their mercy, right? So I think
Yes.
that was like because we obviously, as you know, we owned an agency before, and then we saw like firsthand, of course, connecting with business owners, they were just like, how do I know I can trust you? I've been burned by all these other agencies before. And we just kept coming across that all these people that had just been in these horrible situations where, their websites they had no access to their website, or they got all these like viruses, or they got spam, they got all of these things, or their accounts got shut down, they got blocked from Facebook. And that was the big thing. Everyone was like, how do we know we can trust you? And we're like, that's a great question, right? Like, how do we prove that we can be trustworthy? And so then when we created our own like our own trades company, when we built it from the ground up, we said we had so many people coming to us, right? They were like, "How are you doing this? How are you growing it so quickly? How are you like doing all of these things?" And we said, "Well, because we have the marketing background to go along with it." So then that's kind of how the Tools of the Trade playbook came about, right? We kind of were like, we need to help trades business owners because I see in house call pro groups all the time. Everyone's just like, "How do we know who can trust? How do we know?" Or like what company is everyone using, or has anyone used Profit Rhino, right? Like everyone's just asking all these questions
I know.
because they don't know where to turn, or they don't know what is the best avenue. They don't know if Facebook ads are going to be the best, if Google ads are going to be the best, or do I just need a better pricing structure, or do I just need new branding, right? Like everyone's just so lost, I think, when it comes to the
Yes.
first step that it takes to grow, right? And like where do we go? How do we grow from here?
Yeah.
So
Basically, the tools of the trade playbook is if you don't believe me that or trust us, here you go. Here's videos. You can do everything yourself.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. That was my main thing is like the control and confidence because I think being in the trades, Matt, maybe you can relate is we're touchy-feely guys, right? Like we're not some tech bros that sit at a computer. We have to. But let's be honest, like some days it feels good to be like, you know what, the guy's calling sick. I'm gonna hop in the van, I'm gonna throw that furnace in, I'm gonna show him how it's done, right? You
Yeah,
know? And it's just with the tools of the trade is it was more to me was what I think makes a big impact on like home service business owners is the confidence and control to grow at your rate that you want.
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely. You can control the amount of money that you put into the ads, so
Yeah.
Yep.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So I know I said last question. This is genuinely the last one here, Matt. This one this one I want doesn't have to be this is straight candid here. You're a busy guy, right? So you got a lot going on. I know you're trying to master the tools of the trade and you're doing a great job with it. Would it be of interest to you if we had a package where we did all the more complicated, go high level, building the campaigns, etc.? We took that major work stress and time constraint out, and with the tools of the trade, you still had the control and power to manage the ads, turn them on, see what conversion rates are. You still do the management, but we would be able to just, okay, hey guys, I want 3 landing pages. I want a winter furnace blowout, XYZ. I want 3 different ads. Can you build the landing pages, build the workflows, build the email targeting, the text message, do all the more techie stuff, and then you get to do the easy part. Would that be a package to you that you would be of interest in?
Yes, absolutely. I
Yeah.
think even if they got the first phase of it, like I do, and then they realize, that this is the way to go, I think they would be more prone to go towards that package.
Okay.
Mhm.
Absolutely, because
Because
there's a
we
lot.
actually, yeah, like we've already had 2 of our clients, or members of Tools of the Trade. They're like, "Hey, like, do you think you could just do the hard part for us and implement it?" So I was like, "Well, let me
Yeah,
ask Matt, because Matt's a super busy guy. He's in HVAC. Facebook ads are beneficial, and it does take more work to set up than some other things along with Google Ads. So we're like, let's see what Matt has to say about it."
yeah, absolutely. I think once they watch the videos and realize that this is not a ripoff, or you know what I mean, this is something
Mhm.
that is going to scale their business. I think that package then would be yes. Let's. You know what? I have no time for this. I know this is the way to go, and then I think the other package would be a great option.
Just
Okay.
to expedite the process a little bit.
Because
Oh,
like the way
absolutely.
I look at it is I don't know what your hourly rate is if you're hourly rate or your flat fee, right? Like we're like Pure Life is flat rate, right? But the point is, right, is like okay, you look in the tools of the trade, there's let's say 15 hours of content. Let's just make it simple. You watch 15 hours, but now you have to implement it, which you do twice as slow,
Yeah,
so it ends up being 45 hours, right?
yeah,
If we were to round a number up to let's say 50, and I think the average company in our area charges like 125 an hour if they're not doing flat rate. So if you were to think that as you're the business owner trying to get out of the truck, if you were to take 50 hours and multiply that by let's say, on a conservative rate of 125, that's $6,250 that could be made in the field while you're just trying to learn it yourself. So we're like, what if we play a happy medium of, hey, you've learned everything that's needed to have the control and the know-how, but we'll just do the techie stuff and save you literally 40 to 50 hours of the hard stuff just to, 1 or 2 hours a week to just keep up on the ads and make sure things are flowing and then still have the community to ask questions and then learn on your terms when you have more time.
yeah. No, that'd be great. It doesn't feel like that I'm pressured to be stuck into anything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, because once you realize how many steps there are, like even though I watched the videos, I'm gonna have to watch them again just to go back and see because to remember how to do it. So
Yeah.
yeah, if I watched all those and you said, hey, for this price, I'll set up everything for you, I'd probably do it.
Well, we are doing that, Matt, so you don't have to make a decision today. But if you are serious about that or you think it's a good idea, message Kat and we can we can do a custom tailored package because I think there's a sweet spot and it's like I want a couple Facebook ad landing pages, I want a couple Google landing pages for emergencies, heat, no cooling, right? Like you know what I mean? There's plumbing, clog drain, I got an emergency water leak. There's a couple standard landing pages and workflows that could be built.
Yeah,
Um, So like I said, if that is something, you're like, hey, let's do that. Reach out to Kat and we can build a custom package together. But I just like I said, I'm not a techie guy. So I'm like, man, if I was in their shoes of, your shoes of like, hey, I know what I need to do, but I just don't have the time, nor do I really want to sit at the computer and troubleshoot while watching. If I
Yeah.
could just expedite that for a few $1,000s, um, and then I still have the control to run the ads when I want, how I want, how much I want to spend, knowing if its conversions are right, then, go from there type deal. So that's pretty
No,
much
it's
it.
it's a win-win because I did talk to someone about a month ago about running the Google ads. Now they wouldn't let you have access to it. They wanted to set it up themselves. You
Mm.
know, they had a little program off to the side that would show you the calls and the recordings, but
Yeah.
they actually wouldn't let you into it,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're saying.
to see the keywords and the negative keywords and,
Yeah, and that's a lot of that's the big problem. And I think I talk about that a little bit in the playbook too, just about the whole gatekeeping aspect, right? So a lot of agencies like to gatekeep. They like to act as if like they're the only ones that can do it. And that's the whole point of the playbook is for us to be like, you know what? Here it is. Like this is what goes into it, and this is how you can do it yourself. And this is all the behind the scenes stuff that all of these agencies are doing.
yeah,
Um, but they don't want you to know. And it's just like a lot of SEO companies, right? They don't want you to know that they're really not doing much behind the scenes. Like there's not that much that it requires, especially for a trades bit like a home service business, right? So that was kind of what we're trying to like debunk all of these
yeah,
these people that think that agencies are the only one. And then but there are of course companies that are going to use an agency just because they don't know what to do, right? They just want to throw their money at an agency and then they hope and they pray that the agency is going to have their best interest in mind and actually know what they're doing, right? So, but no,
yes.
that's good. Any
Another
other, like, do you have any questions or anything, any other comments that you want to make after?
Yeah. Another thing I found out about a lot of those agencies is they're using AI apps to automate all of it. So
Hmm.
they're getting, say 100 clients and they're setting it all up on automation. That
Yeah.
they're not even doing anything. It's
Yeah.
it's it's a program that's doing it,
Well, I think one of the how do I say this? That's what actually pisses me off, right? Is like I know how hard of work it is to make money in those trades. And then I have
Yeah.
some 18-year-old in your mom's basement try to
Yep.
upsell me on stuff, or some guy in another part of the world who doesn't get what it's like to have a call at
Yeah.
midnight to go to a no heat, right? And make
Yeah.
that customer happy, or go out on a Sunday when it's the week one of football. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
trying to say? Like, so it's like to me is like you don't get what it's like in the home service to let alone make money and make a customer happy.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what? I want my hard-earned cash to go somewhere where it makes sense. And where does that make sense? The growth of my business. And that's
Yeah.
how do I do that? Control.